Hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Coming at you with a reading vlog. I'm gonna have a lot of these coming up. It's cool. In this video, this is a dedicated reading vlog to the one, the only Lightlark by Alex Astor. Oh boy, this book is gonna have some juicy topics for us to discuss. It's going to be a lot, but I want to read it before we talk too much about what's going on. Am I late to this train? Yeah. There was a lot of controversy around this, a lot of dedicated 3-hour length videos dedicated to this book. I won't quite reach that mark, hopefully. But the difference is, I had this on my most anticipated releases of 2022. I was very excited for it. And as someone who is not on Book Talk, I did not know of the controversies going on around this when I was interested in it. And then things spread over to the booktube. I heard a bit more about it. I watched one singular video on it, not from a booktuber, and I still want to read the book. I like this concept. I like what this is about. I will read you the summary because it's super freaking short. Welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game, where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler will die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray, even as love complicates everything. Like, I'm so sorry. That sounds fantastic. This book is so pretty. Even, like, the chapter heads. Come on. Yes, please. Absolutely. I'm really excited. I understand that there's a lot of issues. I will try to delve into some of them that I feel that I can talk on, but I'm excited for this. I love tournament-styled games so far in books. I've not disliked any of them. I have so much hope and potential. It's not too terribly big. I don't have the audiobook, but I do know the audiobook comes out to basically 13 hours. So I'm hoping with my little delusional brain that I can read this in less than 13 hours, maybe like 10 hours, but I'm still a slow reader and I keep thinking I'm not. We'll see. I'm gonna give this a read. I will check in with you guys maybe every 100 pages or so. It's like 400 and something pages, 409 pages, so maybe I'll check in every quarter. We can discuss about what's going on. I won't have spoilers, just my thoughts and opinions, and then we can talk about the controversy and wrap up the video. That's the plan. That's how it's gonna go, I think. Stay tuned. Let's see how it goes. Hello. I have company. Actually, Finn is under this desk. Sakura is here. Separate left. But cracked open the first page. Isla Crown often fell through puddles of stars and into faraway places. Damn, that's a good first line. Damn, that's a good first line. Makeup is off. Barely a dent in. Page 20, chapter 3, Blood. I'm already loving this. I love the characters. The writing is rather exquisite. I love the like poetic way everything's explained. I love the different types of people. We're following Isla, not Isla, apparently, who is a wildling, and I think it's so cool. There's starlings, sunlings, moonlings, a whole bunch of things. Very cool. I'm excited about Grimm's character. He seems fascinating, and so far I'm just really liking it. It is much later. I am much tired. I will be going to sleep after this, but I did make it. I got my 100 pages. That last like 40 pages, dude, I was so tired. I was like slogging through, and then kind of got like my second win the last like 20 or so pages. I was like, yeah, I can do this. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I love the writing. I love the way that Alex Astor writes her plot. Like, she'll say things and then she'll tell you something through the characters or the surroundings. And then a couple pages later, she tells you the truth of what's behind that story, like what the meaning is. I love it. Genius. I love these characters. I'm tabbing this. I have 3 tabs. And they're simply just like romance parts that I'm like living for. Apparently, I just need to read more fantasy with romance in it. My other favorite thing about this right now is the Caraval feels. If you know me, you know I love Caraval. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I have a little shelf dedicated to Stephanie Garber and books alike. I don't think I'll put this on that shelf because it just doesn't quite fit the vibes, but I was really expecting going into this and it being more tournament Hunger Games-esque, when really it's more like Caraval. It's a game on this island that just kind of appears. You can't really access it normally, and I love it. I love that it's like Caraval. It's a game. Even the normal residents of the island see it as a game and they're a part of it. So like the tailor, the bar keep, like all of these people play some kind of role or have their own motives in some way. And I love it. I love having other components to the story and like the surrounding world. I love it. I love it. I love all the characters and how they interact with each other. I love all of these what's the word that they use? Demonstration. There's the word. I don't know why that was so hard for me to remember. But I enjoy, instead of it being like a Hunger Games-esque tournament where they're all like literally fighting to the death, it's actually each contestant, each ruler of the realm chooses a demonstration that everyone has to do, and then they pick a winner, and whoever wins then gets a advantage on the 25th day. And keep in mind that this is, or the 50th? 25th day. Yeah, 25th day. And keep in mind that it is spanning over 100 days. We're approaching the 25th day. I think we're day 15 by chapter 14. So you're kind of getting closer. It's not what I was expecting, and I'm liking it even more than what I was expecting. Like, if it was what I was expecting, it would have been good. But it's like more, and I'm here for it. It definitely is maybe a bit more YA, but I love her writing style. I love how she reveals things. It can be a little bit on the repetitive side, but I don't mind, because I'm not sitting here remembering each color for each realm. It's just not something that I care about, so I don't mind reading it over and over. But I love the different realms and the different rulers for the realms and their powers and discovering them with it. I'm loving this. I'm so tired, but like I'm also like so excited that I want to keep reading. So I might read another chapter or two before I'm like actually tired, but then I'll go to sleep. Check in the next 100 pages when we're halfway through the book, which will be exciting. Yeah, so literally exactly 100 more pages. I will check in with you guys on my thoughts and see if I still love it or if I absolutely end up hating it. We'll see. Good morning. I am tired. It's been a productive day for me. Finally sold my Jeep, so that took up a good hour and a half of my day, but finally reached the halfway mark of Lightlark. I'm on page 204. I still love it. I don't know what more to say. I've genuinely just been having such a fun time reading this. I love it's so vivid of a picture. If you can't picture things in your head while reading, I don't know what the experience would be like for you, but I truly see everything. And it is so magical. It really gives me Caraval vibes. It gives me like that dark, sinister undertone of something going on this little island, secluded from everyone. Everyone has different motives. It's giving. I am so excited to finish. Again, I will check in with you guys in another 100 pages. You can see me keeping tab up here. I will check in with you guys in another 100 pages, but just know I'm having the best time. I love trying to puzzle things together, but like I don't know anything. I have no clue what's going to happen. I have a few tabs, mostly just parts that I like because it's like kind of cutesy, romancy things. But yeah, I'm just having fun, and that's what reading's all about. It's a good time. So I'm gonna keep reading, continue on. I'm really excited to finish so that I can spend so much time deep diving into all of the, the things, the videos. There we go. I'm really excited to dive into like the video essays done on this book and on Alex Astor, because it's fascinating how I'm enjoying this book so much when this is like such a hyped yet hated book. Oh, it gets me so excited. I'm going to fall down a big old rabbit hole, but I'm ready. Another 100 pages down. Just 100 pages to go. You can see my tabs back here, starting to get a little sad. There's a lot going on. A lot of things are happening. I'm not surprised by the twist, but also, like, I'm surprised by the twist. Like, what the heck? Loving this. And loving this so much. I don't even have a lot to say. But I'm loving the lies and the betrayal of it all. I'm loving the reveals. I'm loving the imagery. I've continuously, like, throughout the day, read some pages, walked away, came back to it, walked away. Like, it's been a lot of putting down, picking back up today while I've been doing other stuff. And it is just so easy to fall right back into this world. Like, it takes no brain power. It doesn't take much to get into it. Honestly, when I step away to, like, go do something in the real world, I'm, like, disoriented a little bit because it's so captivating. I'm just so intrigued and sucked in. I'm so excited to see where this goes. I'm just having a grand old time. Is this a revolutionary book? Is this something you'll never have read before? Not really. It's not, like, new. It's not something you wouldn't expect. It's your typical fantasy book, but, like, in the best way possible. If you don't like YA, you may not enjoy it, but that's just a given. But, like, bam, 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 it's got a punch, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Bitch. I don't think I've ever in my life taken so many notes to talk about a dang book before, but here we are. Hey, stop eating my plants. It's not even real. It's not safe anywhere either. Whatever. First, let's just wrap up my thoughts about the book. So many things. So many things. So, I finished Lightlark. It's a day later than when I finished it. I was too tired. Sleep is too important. So, where do I start? I gave this... Excuse you? Get down. Whatever. I gave this 5 stars. I did. I gave this book 5 stars. Come at me, haters. Is this a true 5-star favorite book that I will love forever? No, I don't think so. But I did thoroughly enjoy my reading experience. And as I've mentioned so many times, if you like Caraval, you will most likely enjoy this. And if you don't like Caraval, you won't like this. If you don't read YA and don't like it, don't waste your time on this, okay? Great, now that we've got that over with. Where do I start? Trying to stay in the no spoiler territory because I know a lot of people probably still want to read this. The ending was predictable and it wrapped up very nicely for this having a sequel in the works. But I saw the plot and how it was going, like the twist would happen and it'd reveal the secret and you're like, well, yeah. And it'd do that a couple of times, but the final reveal did actually get me. I was kind of like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I saw, like, the first part of it coming, but then the big reveal, I was like, did not see that coming. Didn't actually think twice about it. Good. So I did enjoy it overall. Again, it really reminds me of Caraval, just that very, like, whimsical writing. I personally enjoy it. I'm not expecting, like, good writing that makes sense all the time or whatever. I don't really care. I'm not here to critique a book on its, like, actual standards. Like, if it's a bad book objectively, I don't typically care. Like, clearly it had an editor. That's all. That was enough for me. There weren't, like, grammatical errors that bothered me or anything. Like, it was something that I could just sit back and enjoy and easily fall into. I didn't really have issues of getting through it. I like the whimsical fantasy writing. I love Stephanie Garber's writing, and that's what it reminds me of. So I like that. Yes, this is a very heavy-handed story. It's very convenient. It's pretty convoluted. It's repetitive. It's longer than it needs to be. But, and we'll get into all this Alex Astor stuff in a little bit, I promise. But she did come from writing a middle grade duology and then into this. So I can understand how it might be difficult from going from a middle grade writing experience to a young adult, and like how they can differ and how they should differ. But again, I don't care. Issues that I had. 1. Isla. Isla? Fuck her name. Fuck the name Isla. Why? Why is Isla on an isle? Make her name Isla. Why is Grimm saying her name like a snake, pronunciating Isla? If we just left that one single sentence out, I would have had a grand time reading. I was reading this, and every other time I like had to read her name in my little stupid head, I was like, Isla, 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 Isla. It was a never-ending challenge for me to decide which I wanted to call her. I'm pretty sure her name is Isla. Dumb name. If Isla is on an isle, her name should be Isla. Okay, moving on. And Isla has your dumb bitch main character energy. She's supposed to be this strategic warrior that can live in the jungle in the weirdest conditions because her prisoners love to do that to her. Whatever. She has gone through the ringer many a times. And she was so dumb. So dumb. Why? For what? Why can't we just have like smart main characters that can like solve puzzles and problems? Like, I get you're 18, you're young, you're with a bunch of 500-year-olds. I get it. But like, you can't be this dumb. Anywho, my other issue, speaking of 500-year-olds, Oro, the king. I kid you not. Okay. Personal problem. I have an issue with picturing characters in my head, period. Like, I can get like a general idea of a character, but it's not specific. I love fan art because it really helps me see people. I can picture places better. With that said, whilst I was reading this book, I pictured all of the main characters looking like they were in their 20s, except for Oro. Oro was a 50-year-old man with this big white beard. He's just this big old grumpy little man that could like wield a bunch of power. No. No, he looks just as young, and I had a really hard time with that because there are things in the plot. I'm sure you can see where this is kind of going, but like, he was an old man. What do you mean? I was not expecting the romance to be what the romance became. And I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with it. I will say that. I'm not sure I'm satisfied with how the romance played out and all. I'm going to put this down now because we know we're talking about this. There's no other book in this video. But overall, I did give this 5 stars. I enjoyed my reading experience. I really enjoyed the story. I don't think this is going to be for everyone, clearly. It has a lot of controversy around it. It is like one of the most hated, hyped books in a while. But I liked it. I didn't have issues with it, really. Whatever. It's another young adult book with like an age gap of Grimm and Oro and literally everyone but Celeste being like 500 years old and like having romances with a 19-year-old. Whatever. I love Twilight. Who the fuck am I to say anything at this point? It's a fantasy world. Whatever. We've all had the conversations. It's fine. I don't think this is going to be like a favorite book, but let me tell you, I thought about this constantly. When I wasn't reading, I was so excited to go pick it back up. When I was dreaming, my dreams were at Lightlark, a very like similar vibe. I was super inspired. I started jotting down different story ideas because of this, because it reminds me so much of Caraval, and I just love the vibes. I love them. I love this kind of story. It is my comfort story. So it worked really well for me. I'm not saying it is a 5-star all-time favorite, more like a 4.5. It definitely has its issues. It's not a perfect book. I don't read books to be perfect. I don't read books for like good plot or good characters. I read for a good time, and that is why reading is subjective. Now, let's get into the tea, shall we? I have so many notes. First off, I will be linking 4 videos down below by 3 different creators that I would love for you to check out. So the first video I will be leaving down below is going to be by Swell Entertainment, a non-booktuber. She is not biased, and she talks about Alex Astor and all of the controversy that went on with the industry plant stuff and the nepotism, and just much more detail than I will be going into. But she is actually how I found out about a lot of these things. So I will definitely be leaving her video down below. She goes in far more detail than I will, but I just want to give my opinion because that's what an opinionated person does. So I will leave her video down below. I highly recommend you check it out. I will also be leaving Reads with Rachel down below. She reviewed Lightlark, and she also talked about the controversy in a more booktuber way. She had very different opinions. She did not like Lightlark, so if you're looking for someone that's kind of like not a fan, I'll leave those down below for you to check out. And I will also be leaving down below, because this will have to do with conversations in a bit, I will leave Alexis Done. I think it's Alexis Done. I'm sorry. She is an author here on YouTube, and she has a title video, Goodread Flames on the Side of My Face, Goodreads Author's Secrets. And if you are interested in author perspective of how Goodreads work, please go watch the video. Specifically when we're going to be discussing low ratings and 1-star bombing books. So check her video out, get an idea. It is a little bit on the longer side, but I really recommend it. It really opened my eyes to things. Okay, that's enough promo for everybody else in the world. Let's talk about it. So I will not be talking about all of the things that happened. One, I'm not on Book Talk. I don't care about Book Talk. I do not trust them. I don't care about their opinions. I did not find this book through them. Like, Book Talk is its own little world and social media problem that we will discuss a little bit. But, like, I don't care. I didn't read this book because of Book Talk. I didn't stop myself from reading it because of Book Talk. But just know that a lot of this drama stems around Book Talk, okay? I'm not on it. I don't care. I don't care about authors. I don't care about their lives, really. You tell me if you're writing a book, and I will say, great. I follow a handful of authors on Instagram. I don't think I follow any on my TikTok because I really don't do a lot of Book Talk follows. And that's about it. And if I follow an author on Bookstagram, like, they're a loved author. Like, of course I'm following Erin A. Craig and Stephanie Garber because I love them. I don't follow Alex Astor. I could care less about their lives. But talking about Book Talk and publishing and how this book came to be. So Alex Astor, once upon a time, made a little TikTok video being like, hey guys, would you read a book about Lightlark? And she explained the plot. She had her Pinterest board, photos. It was a great video. I think that for the most part, it delivered on its promises. I could see people wanting more of like a grittier, darker story from it, but for young adult fantasy romance, I think it delivered. I have heard that it's compared to The Hunger Games and ACOTAR. I've not read ACOTAR. I haven't read The Hunger Games. I have seen the movies, so I can kind of talk on it. Nothing like it. They are not one and the same. Not at all. This is not a tournament, life or death, fight to the death kind of story at all. I went into it with that, like, idea of, oh, they're going to be fighting, there's going to be death. There wasn't. I loved it for that because I didn't really need that from the story. It did what it needed. So don't go into it expecting Hunger Games and ACOTAR, because you're not going to get it. Cool. Again, I'm not on Book Talk, but apparently Alex Astor was posting about different scenes and quotes that weren't in the book at all when people started reading the arcs. I don't know what that's about. I don't really care. This blew up. The book got purchased from whatever publisher. Like a week later, the rights to the movie got bought, which means nothing. And basically, the world just got mad. Everybody was claiming that Alex Astor was an industry plant, that she was it was because of nepotism, and I don't think so. I think that Alex Astor probably marketed things wrong and might have like white lied here and there in interviews and on her TikTok and like made it out to seem something that it wasn't. I don't really know, but I don't agree with the industry plant or the nepotism. Like, she doesn't have family in publishing. She's not like living with the owner of one of the big five. Like, she's got no relations, but she does have privilege. And if you're really wanting to know more on that, I will leave like Reads with Rachel's videos below. I really don't care. If you're rich, cool for you. Your dad has a dealership, cool. I don't care. I don't think that people bashing her twin sister for selling or having like a popular marketing network social media type site, I don't think you have to tear one sister down so that the other sister doesn't have credibility. Like, I don't understand the point. Yeah, she's privileged and they do acknowledge that, both sisters do, which is a start, but you don't choose the family you're born into. Like, cool, she's rich, whatever. She wrote a book, great, it's a good book. I'm sorry, I don't know what more else people like want. People on social media are just so freaking mean for no reason. So no, I think she's privileged. I don't think she's an industry plant. I don't think that she has anything to do with nepotism. I think that social media is a social construct that we have just let go too far, you know? So I mentioned briefly the rights to the movie were purchased before the book came out. That's not weird, because if you want to follow hype of a book, you probably want to own the rights to the movie so that if you decide to make it, you can make it and like follow the hype and like it can be good, have the time. I don't think that's weird at all. I think that's very common, but I can understand this underlying issue of we, the general population, do not understand Hollywood and publishing and the industries as a whole. And this is my biggest problem with everything. We don't know how publishing really works, but what we do know from people who tell you is that publishing and record labels, artists, like all of these different creative industries are being forced to get popular on TikTok so that they can make a career for themselves. If you blow up on TikTok, they will buy your song, they'll buy your book, like they will work with you if you have TikTok hype and clout and whatever. And I think it's stupid. I do not think, no offense to those on Book Talk, I don't think Book Talk should have the, like, or TikTok as a whole, I don't think TikTok should have the decision making of who makes it in this world now. I think that's stupid. I don't think that a bunch of people should be making these big decisions on, like, who makes it in the world. Like, Colleen Hoover, she's been around forever. I've heard of her for 10 whatever years. Like, she wasn't a new author, but then TikTok blew her up. And I have my issues with her. I haven't read her book. Not this video, it doesn't matter. But I don't agree with what Book Talk always promotes. That's just my opinion. It's a different story. But I don't think that publishers should be looking at strictly what TikTok is saying, because that's not the entire market. There are plenty of readers that are on booktube or just reading for fun in general and not at all part of it. And I don't know. This just irks me. That is all. That's all. I don't think that social media should have say in everything, and I think that it's dumb that people have to make it on TikTok and go viral to have their career happen. I have the same issue with like songwriters. I think it's dumb. It makes me angry. Okay. Another popular conversation besides the rags to riches, nepotism, industry plant problems, and then the rights to the movies being purchased. I also have heard a lot of conversation about representation in the book, and apparently this was marketed to be like a super diverse book, and I honestly, I don't know about that. I don't know what was said. I'm not going to really look into it. But as someone who has read the book all the way through with her own eyes, there is one Black character who is also gay, and he's a little sweetheart. I do really enjoy his character, although done a little dirty, just a little dirty. He's present, he's a good character, but is so often pushed off to the side, and he's such a side character compared to the other 6 or other 5 that it's like, what was the point? Isn't it 7? 6? Fuck. Moonling, Starling, Sunling, Skylings, Nightshades, Wildlings. So the other 5. I think he could have been used in the story more and actually like helped a lot more, but instead he was just like off doing his own thing all the time and you rarely ever saw him. And then like the tables turn on him for a second and then you really don't see or hear from him again. And I was like, what? Okay. But a lot of people are having issues that because Alex Astor, I believe, is Colombian American, but because she is Latin and there is not a lot of Latin representation in the book, people are mad. Not every story needs to be own voices, okay? She's American. She lives in Florida. She is surrounded by different cultures, and if she resonates more with the Floridian side of her, whatever. If that's what she wants to write, whatever. Also, like, they have magic. They're not really normal people. There is no Earth. So why do they need to be Latin? Just a question. But also, I have this issue a lot with booktube, book talk, whatever, as a whole, of authors have to write own voices, and I don't agree. If you are a part of the LGBTQIA+ community, if you are a gay author, you do not have to write a gay book. Great example, you can't fucking see. The Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas. Straight. It's a straight book, and he is a transgender gay man, and that is great. I'm pretty sure. Solely based off Cemetery Boys, I'm pretty sure. But Cemetery Boys was personally my favorite of the 2 that I've read of his work so far. Loved Cemetery Boys. I like this still. Just because it's not gay doesn't mean that I shouldn't pick up his books. I have this issue a lot. People can write whatever they want to write, to a degree, but it doesn't necessarily have to be their own voice, their own experience, to still be a credible author that you should still want to read. Cool. We should just support the author, not necessarily what the work is about. Now, granted, that's a general statement. That does not apply to everything. We're just making that clear. Okay. Next in my notes, I see the apparent romance edition has more smut, and I think that's dumb, which I agree with. These are my own notes. Of course, I agree with them. But I do think it was a little stupid for Alex Astor to say there's 2 bonus chapters out in the world that, like, have more smutty in the romance, blah, blah, blah. Stop. This is the same with Barnes & Noble, which already has their own problems. I'm so sick of special edition books at Barnes & Noble having bonus chapters at the end. If you're going to write a book, give me all of the content. I really don't need to go fight for a Barnes & Noble special edition when I really don't want to support Barnes & Noble right now. Kind of just like want to let them do their thing and buy my books elsewhere. They're too expensive for me anyway. I really don't buy from there, but like anyway. I'm so sick of like, ooh, you can get the bonus chapters. No, just if it was meant to be in the book, give it to me. If it is a bonus chapter, put it on your website and give it to me for free. I've already bought your book. What more do you want from me? And the final thing that I would really like to talk about, because I wanted to read like the 1 and 5 star reviews for this book, but honestly, I think this video is already going to be long enough, so we're going to just ixnay that. But the last thing I want to talk about is 1-star bombs on this book before it came out by people who had never read the book. Don't. I know that I'm a small channel. No one's going to care about my voice right now, but like if you're hearing this and this somehow came to your channel or your feed, don't bomb a book. Don't bomb it 1 stars if you haven't read it. Don't bomb it 5 stars if you haven't read it, but like also I'm not going to be mad if you did, like whatever. Do what you need to do for your author, if you're like friends, family, whatever. Give them 5 stars. Even if you didn't love it, whatever. I don't care if you 5-star a book. Especially if you're an author and you understand. Again, I will leave Alexa's video down below and you can kind of get a better understanding of both sides. But don't bomb a book with 1 stars because you're mad about the controversy because she lied that she worked so hard because she spent a long time on this book and like had all these struggles. Whatever. I don't care. Don't ruin the reputation, because if you're willing to do it to Alex Astor, you're probably willing to do it to other authors, and some authors really strongly depend on their Goodreads ratings, and it is very important to their livelihood. So like, don't do it. Just don't be an asshole and don't do it. Cool. Okay, great. That's it for my conversations and rants. Final conclusion of Lightlark. This heart is not yoky enough, and that makes me really upset. All right, that's it. Bye.